Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sonic the Hedgehog 3 Complete. So, yeah, this is the one you can put on your EverDrive or your Sega Genesis Mini, but you can't put Air on, unfortunately, so here we are playing Sonic 3 Complete, or Sonic 3 trademark Sonic the Hedgehog.
It figures that Sonic 3 has to be like the black sheep of the commentaries. Considering
Is this the Blue Sphere commentary everyone's been asking for?
We'll never go to a Blue Sphere comment, like a legit
All 1 million
like,
something levels.
all something million levels of
Will that
Blue
be
Sphere?
before or after the Pac-Man death screen glitch playthrough?
I think, and hear me out here, like later down the road, maybe on our deathbeds, we should do a full 8-hour Desert Bus commentary.
Good God.
Okay, so for context, up until very recently with the release of Sonic 3 Angel Island Revisited, this was the definitive way to play Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Mostly because it combines like every possible Sonic 3 and Knuckles experience you could ever want into one cartridge, into one ROM.
It's also an actual Genesis ROM, so you can put it on a repo card and stuff, and it'll actually work on your Genesis.
Which I have to say is really, really cool. I love when there's stuff like that. Similar things like the Mother 3 carts that have it in English on a GBA cart. That's always really cool. Stuff like that's always really neat to me.
Yeah. It's an interesting case of fans doing what was originally intended in the first place, though, because the original plan for Sonic and Knuckles wasn't Sonic and Knuckles as a cart that you could stick on another cart. What they planned to do with all their cut content from Sonic 3 originally was to just re-release Sonic 3 as a special edition with all the cut stuff grafted back in. So
Oh, but you know what? They need to get all of these. When it came to re-releases, we'd get stuff like the Wii Virtual Console, where they sold every single edition of Street Fighter 2 that was on Super Nintendo on that. And imagine trying to buy, you're like, oh, Sonic 3, I remember that game as a kid. I'll buy it, and then you get half the levels you remember.
It wasn't just the Wii Virtual Console they did that on. I remember seeing that on Xbox, too.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Yeah, remember, we Sonic fans would never buy multiple copies of it.
And the Xbox also had the HD remix version, so even more.
You poor sacks.
I think at the end of the day, it just came down to costs, because the size of the cartridge they had to invest in order to fit Sonic 3 and Knuckles as one game into a single cart ended up being too expensive. Yeah. A lesson they would unfortunately not learn with I think it was Virtua Racing on the Genesis, the only game on the console to utilize like its Super FX equivalent, which to the game's credit looks and runs fantastic for the kind of game it is. It runs way better than Star Fox to compare it to something. That cartridge unfortunately was very fucking expensive.
Yes, yes it was.
It was like over $100 back then, which would be like charging $180 today for a game.
Companies did that. Wasn't the original?
I'm glad that I'm not the only one that happens to that. That's great to see.
John, wasn't the original price for Final Fantasy VI, aka Final Fantasy 3, like $120 or something on Super Nintendo?
No. It was standard MSRP.
Really? I thought I remember hearing it was more
any
expensive.
game that had like a chip on it was sold at a higher price. So Star Fox, Mega Man X2,
Stunt
and
FX
3.
Racer.
Stunt FX was another one up there. Yeah, and Yoshi's Island. That was on Super Nintendo. That was sold at a premium.
That was part of the logic to creating and selling something like the 32X, is that it was a one-time purchase peripheral that you could stick on your system and it would do the extra chip stuff for you. But
I mean, we're still going to charge you normal price for the other games, but you're not paying premiums for each game.
Yeah, that was the logic. Unfortunately, no.
It's 32X. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I mean,
nobody gave a fuck about 32X.
I mean, I had a 32X. I mean, kids cared about the 32X, but kids were stupid. And they weren't making the purchasing decision, so it didn't matter. But yeah, I had a 32X as a kid. I played some Doom on it. I never had Knuckles Chaotix, despite that being.
Well, at least you had a relatively decent experience, because the only game I played on a legit 32X in my youth was like Road Rage or Road Rash or whatever the fuck it was called.
I mean,
I don't know how well Doom plays. I know the music's terrible.
Doom on 32X. is actually one of the better versions of the
Yeah,
game.
it-
It just
it-
doesn't. It just
it doesn't have
just
music.
has shitty music,
Yeah.
or it doesn't have music
If
at
you
all.
look
yeah.
up the version of E1M1 from Doom 32X, it actually sounds worse than the version somebody did on a bunch of floppy disks.
Yeah,
you can
no,
find them.
the music sucks, but as a gameplay experience, it's actually one of the better console versions.
Yeah. And also, the fact that the music is largely absent in the 32X version doesn't hurt the game as much as you would think. Because, well, I mean, yeah, Doom music is great. It's sad to see it gone, but it's also a game that works pretty well silent.
Well, no, let's say no. It's like you can make your own acapella without interrupting anything.
I mean, like,
Back me
you're
up.
trapped in a labyrinth fighting demons, so going
Yeah.
the atmospheric route isn't necessarily a bad idea. It's just that the game has music, and if you know it has music, the music being gone is gonna annoy you. But like, I didn't know that at the time, so I played Doom on 32X, and it was a fun experience, you know. And then of course I discovered the magic that is Check's Quest.
I mean, how do you go back after that?
For some reason, it didn't let me go get that ring.
I've never seen that happen before. No, it's too late, buddy. You can't go up there now.
I want my ring.
You can't get the ring.
So Sonic was originally designed to look like Mickey Mouse, right? Because the Sonic 3 sprite definitely...
He was inspired by
Mickey
Mickey
Mouse.
Mouse. He wasn't meant to look like Mickey Mouse. He was
The
inspired.
design element, the design phase of Sonic's character is an interesting one to look into. But there were different, like, are you
Are
drowning
you gonna drown to
yourself?
get another
Yeah.
ring?
Yes.
Okay.
Sonic, you're that motherfucker that drowns in the kiddie pool? Are you serious?
I want the ring.
So like
Oh, Sonic!
during the
You're a terrible influence!
during the design phase of Sonic's like conception, there were multiple like considerations made, and I think like Sega of America had their level of input. It was in any case, it was very much a cooperative design. It's not like one person designed this character and
Well, generally attributed to
Well, no,
Naoto Oshima.
no,
so.
Naoto Oshima did design like the basis for
the
Sonic.
basis, yes, but
Yeah.
like not like all of it. And then
Well,
even-
obviously, like it was. I'm pretty sure it was a bunch of input saying that, oh, okay, let's give him red shoes, blue fur, and all that
Right.
shit like that.
And then
but, yeah,
And then when the design was finalized, they wound up designing different versions anyway, like a more edgy, attitude-filled version for the American market. And then there's the Japanese box art version, which is more timeless, certainly, and but like is generally softer, you know.
yeah. The original American designs were by Greg Martin, who fortunately passed away a couple of years ago, so he's not with us anymore. But he is the one that gave us the iconic ass brow. It's what I call it.
The ass brow and the spine mohawk.
the mohawk, yeah, and the very rubbery look to everything. And again, it works for certain box arts. I just didn't like the design in its entirety, which is why I jive with the Japanese design more.
Going back to Satam and Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and watching that mohawk flop around is
Really weird. But it did lead to some pretty cool things, because one thing I did like that the Western cartoons kind of emphasize is that the spin dash is a really fucking dangerous technique because it was pretty much a buzzsaw. and I felt that was just like a logical extreme of like the mohawk haircut.
yeah, the buzzsaw always did look and sound pretty nice, yeah. Although, did they still do that in Sonic Underground? Because Sonic Underground ditched the mohawk.
I don't think so. The last time they really used the spin dash as like a buzzsaw sort of thing that I recall was from the OVA. Because he does it in there too.
Odd.
Which I think was just an extension of Sonic CD, because Sonic CD also did that to some capacity.
Sonic CD had him sort of spin around really fast into a rapid sphere. But
Yeah, but that rapid sphere can fucking go through boulders.
oh yeah.
So
But it was still a sphere and not so much a saw in the sense that it was in the American cartoon.
still a lot of ouchie
Like
ouch.
in the American cartoon, he just loses all his horizontal mass when he spins into a ball for some reason.
Yeah. You're a strange being, Sonic. I like you.
If only dieting was that easy in the real world. It's no wonder the chili dogs never go anywhere.
I mean, I always took that as like a concept from the Flash where he's running around and moving so fast he just burns all those calories.
He has an ultra high metabolism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Well, I mean, he's running like what 76,000 miles a day. You're gonna burn some calories doing that.
I don't think we ever got like a definitive measurement of how fast Sonic can actually run.
Oh no, we did once. Where they said in when Sonic Unleashed was coming out that Sonic can run such and such miles per hour and the stages are such and such miles long, and then somebody did the math and it turns out that Sonic should beat the stage in like 15 seconds.
30 seconds, yeah.
The only, like, when you think about it, Sonic isn't really that fast. It's just the fact that we're seeing him in a horizontal view that makes him seem faster than he is.
Well, not so much with like the original games. No, Sonic is actually not that very fast.
He's not actually any faster than Mario.
Yeah, like on the ground with like no slopes, no spin dash. He's actually he's slower than Mario.
In Sonic 1, if you were on the ground, even the slopes couldn't make you go fast because of that goddamn speed cap. You'd have to roll to get any speed. But
like modern day Sonic sure can run loops around Mario, but back then it's fascinating to think that we know him for his trademark speed when in reality you look back, it wasn't that fast.
Well, I mean, even in Sonic Adventure, when he's just running flat out without any slopes, he's not any faster than he was in the classic games. In fact, he feels a bit slower because of that floaty moon jump. But like, when we get into like the adventure games. Holy hell. Not adventure games, the Unleashed games is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and Rush. Yeah.
And Rush, yeah. Like, holy hell. Even when he's running without the boost in Unleashed, he picks up some ridiculous speed.
And trying to get, like, S ranks in the Sonic Rush games is, like, quite the sight to behold. Like, you have to memorize everything and react so quick to all of the jumps, all of the ramps, all of the everything, just so you can maintain your speed.
Yeah, it's like you're not even doing it for like self-satisfaction. You're still doing it to impress your friends.
Also, you have to mash the trick button, so Sonic's like, cool, yeah, all right, cool.
I like how you really didn't want to go into this bonus stage, so you just let yourself fall, but at least you got 10 rings out of it.
Gumball's my second favorite bonus stage next to the electric sphere.
Was that the one Sonoy composed, or?
Which one? Oh, for special stage music?
Yeah.
I don't think Sano composed any of the bonus stage themes.
No, that was the where you got to start with him, wasn't it?
He got to start here, but it was only for one invincibility track. I think that might have been the Sonic 3 one. And
I could have swore he did one of the bonus tracks.
Maybe one of the bonus tracks, I'm not sure. But like, yeah, June did technically start here, but he only contributed like 2 tracks.
Anyway, for those of you wondering, why is Sonic 3 Complete the definitive way to play this game? Why not just pick up a Sonic 3 and Knuckles ROM? Well, the main reason is that Sonic 3 Complete and Air, both of them, give you a ridiculous number of options as to how you play the game. You can, like, choose different music sets, some slightly different move sets in Air's case, I think. Like, they might have included the drop dash.
Well, on Air's case, you can just put in your own music.
Oh, yeah.
I've always wanted to play Sonic 3 with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air music.
Well, now you can.
I want to play Sonic 3 Air with like Doom's 32X soundtrack.
And like, there are just
Sonic 3 Knuckles music.
You can add like a transformation button, a separate transformation button to Supersonic's transformation.
But no, like
what the hell is that?
But no, like if you were paying attention, you could listen earlier where I had the Sonic and Knuckles mid-boss theme, but I kept Knuckles' theme from Sonic 3 whenever he appears.
Yeah, and that's another cool thing. Even in this ROM hack version, you can like individually choose which alternate music tracks that you use from the Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles variants.
And I know some that might seem like pretty inconsequential shit, and it is at the end of the day, but I just love having that option because the thing that always kind of peeved me when connecting Sonic and Knuckles Sonic 3 is that you lose some tracks like doing that.
You also lose a boss fight, which has brought back in the Sonic 3 Complete version.
Yeah,
big arm.
I like the Michael Jackson-esque Act 1 music. I enjoy Knuckles' OG Sonic 3 theme, and I like the big arm boss for Sonic.
You can also, this is cool, set a different theme for the Knuckles boss fight than his regular theme. So you can have him, just have his That thing.
The Michael Jackson
When he
one.
appears
That was
in
uncanny,
levels,
Lewis. Do it again.
you can have him do that when he appears in levels, but have him have his other theme when you fight him, which is really cool. Helps give that moment like a bit more Tails.
Yes.
Like I said,
You can
he's
pretty much you can customize your Sonic 3 experience to your liking, and I love having that option.
And it's even more impressive that they managed to do that, in a Genesis ROM.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, as we mentioned before, this is a legitimate Genesis file. You can play this on your
Yeah.
Genesis.
So,
I mean-
it's just to bear repeating, while we say that Sonic 3 Air is like the best way to play the game, complete is also really fucking important because you can play it on actual hardware.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's impressive that they managed to do all of this in a ROM hack, because ROM hacking isn't like designing a game from scratch or doing a rebuild and trying to make it like one-to-one like the original version. You have to modify an existing program.
An existing
fucking-
program that doesn't run natively on PC, because any game you're not getting the source code for, generally
Yeah.
speaking. You're just not.
Yeah. Modifying a game without the source code is no. Like even something as seemingly simple as adding extra letters, extra text space to the text boxes in Final Fantasy VI is a difficult thing to accomplish. Because that's why the translation work in Final Fantasy VI and Final Fantasy IV is so weird. It's because they had to fit everything that they translate into the same general amount of space that the Japanese text took up. But the Japanese text can say more with fewer letters, so there's the problem, That kind of thing is a constant consideration when you're doing ROM hacks. So, whenever a particularly well-made ROM hack is put out, like say Super Metroid Redux, I dance a little jig inside my head, because it's like, wow, you did it, you accomplished the impossible, or at least from what my perspective seems impossible.
Everything seems impossible to me because I don't code.
Yeah.
It's magic. The ones and zeros do magic, John.
It's fascinating.
Thank you, Tails.
Here, I thought they were just numbers.
The good old invincibility spam.
Oh.
Sonic.
Man, Sonic 4 is looking hot.
Sonic is only halfway to being Jesus, though.
Yeah, he's got to earn the rest of that.
I also
That's those
love the
chili dogs
sliding
going
while
to his
standing
belly.
completely still, like he's moonwalking.
I forget, does 3 Complete put the monitor back in place, or?
Or does it put the dick-headed spring
Yeah.
there from 3 OG? Yeah, I never liked that dick-headed spring.
Oh yeah, that was one of the odd.
It's there to stop you from progressing, John.
No, there it is.
Okay, yeah, it's OG
Oh,
Sonic 3.
yeah,
Why is it there?
Because
Okay.
it's a
Wow,
guy with
they're
the bass
assholes.
baseball bat standing outside your front door.
Yeah.
Okay, so for context, in Sonic 3 alone,
Crap.
What?
What?
Whoa!
Man, Sonic 4 looking hot. Anyway.
So for context, in Sonic 3 alone, there were some level design elements that get changed up when you lock it into Sonic and Knuckles. That spring is a 1-up monitor in Sonic 3 and Knuckles.
Yes.
That's why Sonic 3 and Knuckles is the better experience.
Just
For that one monitor.
There are other places where they do stuff like that. Notably, like there are some Eggman monitors in Launch Base Zone that get changed into more benign things. Because like it doesn't have to be the last level in the game anymore, so they decided to make it a little easier so that it flows better into Mushroom Hill,
The
But it's all
difficulty
minor
curve is still
changes.
wonk in this game because it's designed like that. Like,
Well, yeah.
I would say it's more wonk in Sonic and
But-
Knuckles more than
well, you
the
go from
other-
Launch Base Zone, which is still fairly challenging, to Mushroom Hill, which is incredibly easy.
The other thing that you can do in Sonic 3 Complete and in Air is revert the level order back to the original planned order. So you go from like Carnival Night to Flying Battery and stuff.
That's the
Yeah,
water
it's
the
true.
way I remember it.
a fun little thing there. I know this going back to like Angel Island Zone, but one of the things that I like that Air lets you do is customize the difficulty for certain set pieces in Sonic 3. Because everyone knows like at the end of Angel Island
Just
when
hold
you're being
right.
chased by the flying battery, you're just holding right. Air gives you the option so that
It goes
you actually
faster.
have to try and avoid the bombs. so that you're keeping yourself engaged while you're transitioning to the boss. I don't remember if it lets you do anything else similar to that for any other like set piece in the game, but that's cool.
I've seen footage on YouTube of Sonic having a lot of trouble with those bombs, and I've always wondered, where does that come from? Because that's not the experience I had.
No, I think that they might be just playing air, yeah.
But that's cool because like it was an interesting set piece, but on replays it's kind of just a drag to go through that sequence again. Because
I think that's like that's one of like the primary arguments I have for like Sonic 2 over Sonic 3 is because Sonic 3 is for the first game in the series wanting to tell a story through its gameplay and environment. The set pieces feel more like a drag in repeated playthroughs.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I'll still stand by Lava Reef's boss as being really cool. Except for the number of hits it takes at the end. That could
oh my god,
that could really
which thankfully can be shortened in air.
Yeah, that part should be trimmed down, but everything else about that boss encounter is just like, ooh, Ryan,
nerves got to you.
Don't worry, I get them all. I get them all by the end of the game.
You have plenty of fucking opportunities.
Yeah, this isn't my first run through from way back in the day.
Yeah.
Man. Of course, that's another thing about air is that it doesn't like. Occasionally, Sonic 3 and Knuckles will have slowdown and control lag. It's just kind of unavoidable with a game this fast on a 16-bit console.
But I thought it had fast processing for Nintendo.
Game this fast, game this large.
Yes.
Sonic 3, even as a standalone, is a massive fucking game.
Yeah, this is one of the most graphically impressive Genesis games.
Yes.
Yeah.
It does a lot with its graphics, but unfortunately that means it doesn't run smoothly 100% of the time. Air fixes that, much as the Sonic 1 and 2 remasters fix that problem with those games.
Sega, just take Air and make it a version.
Hire the fans again, please.
Yeah, just
there
fucking
that
package
Sonic Origins you were just talking about.
All we know is that they said it's going to be in widescreen. We don't know if they're really doing anything to it, if it's going to be like a tax-manified version or what.
I would be absolutely floored if they took this opportunity to finally make a tax-man version of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, because, like, I mean, Air will probably still be the definitive version to play because there are a bunch of options that Sega would never put there, but, like, Sonic 3 and Knuckles is the epic Sonic game, you know? It's the big, like, it's of the 2D games, it's the one that feels most like an event, an adventure. Like, it feels like a Sonic game that's every bit as epic and monumental as a Tomb Raider game, you know? That's a weird comparison to draw, but it's the feeling that I get from it. That interconnected level structure, the size of the game, the size and scope of the individual levels and acts, it all comes together. Ryan.
Yeah, I think it's just because, like, for the first time, it's very clear that levels blend into each other. Like, there is a clear transition between Angel Island to Hydro City.
Yeah.
And such and such and such.
And not even just that, but like the fact that there were settings technically in Sonic 1 and 2, you know, South Island, West Side Island, but really it all feels like just a bunch of random levels stitched together for the most part. And, you know, that's how Sonic canon treats them going forward. Like Green Hill and
I miss
Chemical
that sort
Plant.
of exotic like setting for
Green
Sonic
Hill and Chemical Plant are somehow in the same place now, even though they're on two different islands originally. So
specifically after Generations, like every game is adamant on just like being centered around the same area that has like green hills and all that sort of shit. But you know, like Sonic 1, like again, had South Island and West Side Island, and then after like Adventure 2 is like, no, we're just gonna set you in LA. You're in San Diego now, Sonic.
San Francisco.
Man,
in San Francisco. And
Ryan,
just,
you really don't give a fuck about getting hit by bosses, do you?
And that's not always. That's not always a. And to be fair, that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know, because that was like one of the best elements of Unleashed, is that you were going through the entire world and you got to see a variety of different cultures. However, they were still kind of like rooted in real life, which is also kind of dull, like thinking about it, despite being so
I
culturally
guess-
rich.
I guess I just wish Sonic would pay a little bit more attention to the cohesion of its world, because it's got that kind of attitude to it where it makes more sense for there to be a cohesive and constructed world where locations are in set places and that matters to the characters within it, you know? But Sonic plays really fast and loose with that. Lost Hex, what's that? Where is it in relation to everything else?
Who cares?
Nobody cares.
Who cares? Yeah.
Um,
You're going to buy the game anyway.
eh.